My name is Brian, and I'm a person of faith. I believe in Christ, and I desire to love God with all that is within me. I value people who also have a faith, but I also desire to share my heart with others and to give from myself. I'm a giving person. I enjoy sharing myself with others. I want to give a lot of my time and energy to other people. I witnessed that through my parents. My mother and father were hardworking. They were very generous people. I learned much from that. My father shared his money very often. My mother shared her time. And I think I'm a combination of both my mother and my father because they're giving of their time and their energy. And for me, I've become very much what my parents were in their life. I first came to South Korea in 1988. I was an exchange student with Korea Baptist Theological Seminary. I knew that God wanted me to come and study in South Korea. I didn't understand why, but I came to learn. I lived a very simple life. I lived in the dormitory with other male students. I ate Korean food. I studied the language. I studied my major. And so living in a dormitory was very hard. In the Korean dormitory system, they always had pangjang, jungbang, jolbang as a military life. And even though my age was the same as my pangjang, I was jolbang. So I had to clean the floors, I had to wash the dishes, I had to wash the laundry. So I didn't understand because in America life is very simple. We're independent, we do our own work. But in the dormitory I had to learn to be like a group. And so I struggled the hard way. But I survived, and I learned about sacrifice, and I learned about caring for the group. And I had fun. That was the beginning for me, for Korea, but I never expected that 1 year of an exchange learning would turn into 24 years in Korea. When I first came to Korea, of course I was a student in 1988. For about 18 months I studied in Korea Baptist Theological Seminary. And after I went back to the US, I finished my undergraduate. And I thought my life in Korea was finished. But in 1992, I returned to Jeonju. And I lived here. I taught English at a language school for about 2 years. And then I moved to Jeonju University. And during my time in Jeonju University, I began to feel very comfortable in Jeonju. I met many people, and I had many opportunities. I taught English in the university. I also was a part of administration teams for different areas for the liberal arts program. I was a principal for Global Prodigy Academy, an international school here. I served on different committees within the university and also in the city of Jeonju. I worked for the provincial office. I worked for the police department, as well as for the programs for City Hall. I had many opportunities. I was on TV for Achim Madang. I had a great chance to experience life, real life, in Korea. I think for me, I also served as a pastor in 2 different churches while I was here. And what I never expected happened. I was well-rounded with opportunity to teach, as well as to serve, as well as to be a part of many good teams. Most satisfying, I think, were the people that I was able to share my life and my energy and my skills to help someone else. I think I could contribute well to a lot of that. It wasn't so much about me, but it was about other people. And I think I had a great opportunity to help many other people, those who were both Korean and for the foreign community. Since I was one of the first foreigners in Jeonju, I had many chances to help a lot of the teams that came in after me. And so assisting other non-Koreans, I think became a good opportunity for me to help them, to support them, to care for them. I love people and I like to help others achieve good results. I think that maybe is because as a Christian, I was concerned about seeing others benefit. And so my life, I think, hopefully would be about loving God and taking care of other people. That was my purpose and maybe the most important part of my life in Korea. In the 24 years that I've been in Korea, I've had many good experiences, all related to, I think, the mind of Koreans. And I've always been very excited when I think about Korean people because I think the number one word or the best word I would use to describe Korean people is generosity. I think they're very generous people. They do care in helping others and to support them in many ways. And I think when you have a network of friends from elementary school or middle school or high school, they always stay together. They are concerned about each other. And I think more so than in America, that Koreans tend to stick together very, very nicely. And the family circle is very close. And when I first arrived in Korea, the very first day, a taxi driver offered me money to make a phone call. And he gave me the money to make a phone call. And that was my first experience about Korea's generosity and the people and how they're concerned with just sharing what they have. And I think that was good for me because my parents were good examples of that same element of giving. But on a bigger scale, over my 24 years, I've seen so many Korean people who have shown generosity. They've opened their homes for me to stay. They've provided money when I needed assistance. Every year, it's always tended to be the same thing, that Koreans are consistently generous people. And to me, that is exciting. When it comes to problems that I noticed between being an American and living in Korea, I always wish Koreans would drive better. Unfortunately, I have also driven in Korea, and I think the driving style and the driving culture in Korea is very different. And whether it's being in a parking lot and the car door is opened, Koreans tend to hit other cars, even in the parking lot, when they open their door. And they don't leave a note saying, "I'm sorry, I hit your car," or "I scratched your car." That doesn't happen. It's kind of accepted that you don't have to report those kinds of damages to other person's cars. Whereas in the West, we hopefully will respond differently. But in Korea, my car had so many dings because of other cars hitting my car when they opened their door. Also, I know that the traffic lights and running a red light and going quickly and disobeying traffic laws, I think compared to my country in Korea, there's still a problem with the driving etiquette and obeying the traffic rules. And I think for me, I've had many accidents. I've been in the hospital. I've had whiplash. I've hurt many parts of my body because of a car accident. And unfortunately, Korea still has a very poor driving etiquette and obeying the rules when it comes to driving. And I would hope that in the future, Korea would continue to improve in how to become a more safe place to drive their cars and to be able to walk in a crosswalk and nobody would hit me. I think in the future it's going to get better, and I'm optimistic that it will. always experienced many different types of situations, but for me, I think the most difficult was being away from family. I come from a large family, 3 older sisters and 2 older brothers, and my parents. And so holidays in Korea were very difficult because I didn't always have a place to go. I was usually by myself, and I always would think about going home, but I couldn't go home. And while Koreans had, their family to go to, I always didn't feel welcome. Even though they invited me to come, I still felt like I should be seeing my own family. And I couldn't. And so when I first came, I had to be away by myself. And I remember my first Christmas in Korea, and it was terrible. That first Christmas, I didn't have a place to stay because the school I was studying at, I had to live in the dormitory. But during the vacation, I couldn't stay in the dormitory, so I had to get out of the dormitory and I had to move to another person's home. And I didn't have any money. I was really poor, and I didn't have any money. All I had was 5,000won for all vacation, only 5,000 won for about 2 weeks. And I had no place to go, and I didn't know what to do. But one person said, "You can come and stay with me." But even then, for Christmas, I had only 5,000 won, and I was supposed to go to a Christmas party, and I had to buy a gift. And at that time, I bought a gift for 2,000 won. I bought a tape to take for my gift, and so that meant I had 3,000 won for 2 weeks for food. And I didn't know what to do. And it was a Friday, and I remember that I received a letter from my parents, and it came on Friday afternoon, and the letter was from my mother, and my mother was wishing me a Merry Christmas, and inside my mother put $100, 100불, 100불짜리 하나요. And she said, "Merry Christmas." 하지만 banks were closed because of Christmas, so I didn't have hardly any money. I couldn't change the money to Korean won at that time. So I learned to be happy simply by myself at Christmas. And so I was sad in the beginning, but I was reminded about Jesus and Mary and Joseph, that their life was so simple at the real Christmas time. So I had a joy that I was going to be okay, but my mother's timing for the letter was perfect, and I lived very simply for 2 weeks, and then I moved back to the dormitory, and it was good, but it was a very difficult beginning for me. And I was sick many times for a cold, and many of the fellow students in the dormitory, when I was sick, they practiced their acupuncture or chim with needles all over my body to try to make me feel better. And my culture is not accustomed to acupuncture, but when I was sick and I didn't have much help, they always would do chim all over my hands and my face and my back, and I always got better. So I was sick, but even though I was sick, people always took care of me and helped me. And so even though there were bad times, the bad times always got better. People always helped me, and I know ultimately God was in control and helping me survive my first experience in Korea. Now, I can always share and help other people, but in the beginning, I struggled, but God always provided the right people in my life to support me and to help me. Now, after 24 years, I'm able to assist other people when they have problems in the same way many Korean brothers and sisters helped me when I first came to Korea. So my time in Korea has always been a learning and a lesson and a chance to take care of others, but I learned first from Koreans helping me. You're not supposed to cry, but why did you make me cry? I've been 미국에서 2개월밖에 기억이 있는데 이거 안 했으니까. I've had a very good time in Korea. I think I never thought I would leave this country. I've had many good relationships. I've known many foreigners who have come for 1 year or 2 years or longer, and they have left Korea and they are no longer here, but I'm still here. So honestly, I never thought that I would leave Korea. But in the last 2 months, I've been working in America, and I came back only for a short time. But today I have a good chance to remember my life for 24 years. And I've had so many people help me. Dr. Joe has been a huge support. Your family, your wife, your children have been a huge help for my life. And I think without that support in the very beginning, you opened your home for me. You shared your food with me, and you truly always were encouraging in so many ways, and I appreciate that. I think that got me a good start in Korea. I have a lot of good friends that have always been there for me, and as I know, Koreans are good. Once you make a good friend, you remain friends, and you support so much. And Gimek and Songbong, you have always been such a great help for me. You make me laugh, and you always encouraged me. And at the same time, I think I was able to be a part of your life too. The faculty in Jeonju University have always welcomed me, and I appreciate that so much. And I think the liberal arts department and the English faculty and the liberal arts administration and staff, over the years, you've always been there to make me feel welcome, and I believe we worked as a team. Global Prodigy Academy, my time with Jason Jun and Grace, as well as Dean Go, even though he has passed away and the new Dean Go has come. It's another leadership that have always been there to help me and to encourage me and to help me to thrive and to do better. And I appreciate working together as a team. And my time at Jeonju University, I've seen 6 presidents in the time that I've been here as president for Jeonju University, and I've always felt welcomed by them, and I appreciate that. Probably Jungbu English Church, in the time that I've been there, as well as in the Jeonju University Church, the times that I've been able to support the students and to reach out to care for them, whether they're from Cambodia or Thailand or the Philippines, or even in Korea, and from the US and Canada and South Africa, so many countries. I've been able to have friends from those places, and that has been wonderful. Thank you for giving me that opportunity, and I hope that my witness and my support is something that I'll be reminded of forever, but at the same time that as we go our separate ways and as I leave, I know our friendship will change in that I'm not here, but at the same time, I know that I will continue to pray and to be a part of your life. I have so many good places and people while I've been in Jeonju, and all of them have been wonderful. So I leave Korea happy, satisfied, and ready to move back to my own country. Thank you, everyone.